It is Friday the 13th, one of the very, very few days of the year that I look forward to. They don't happen very often, as all we know. Welcome to the Sports Note on YouTube. Today we're going to talk about something that occurred earlier this week. I've actually had this in the pipe, and just with other things coming up, haven't been able to post it. But on Tuesday night, um, the Toronto Blue Jays ended up taking on the Yankees at the stadium in the Bronx, and it was 3-0 Toronto up until the sixth inning, where um, Giancarlo Stanton had hit a 3-run home run to left field that barely got over, and I think Statcast, according to ESPN, said it would not have gotten out in any other park in baseball. It basically would have been just at that point like a long single, but to quote the movie Mr. Baseball, I could piss over that fence, since they actually have a launching pad out to left field, and you got to put a little bit more on it to get out to right field. It ended up being a 3-3 game. This was actually a result of Toronto reliever Yimi Garcia, and then the very next batter was Josh Donaldson, who we all remember spent several years within the Blue Jays organization, got a couple of All-Star appearances out of that. I believe he was part of their team when they ended up losing to the Cleveland Indians in the American League Championship Series in 2016. But Garcia hit Donaldson in the upper part of his arm on the second pitch with a 94 mile an hour fastball that really had just gotten away, and the home plate umpire ended up conversing with his staff, and the home plate umpire, Lance Barrett in this case, conferred with crew chief Alfonso Marquez, and Marquez was at first base, and Marquez immediately gave Garcia the hook with no warning to either bench, and there was no premeditation with this. It's not like the first pitch that he threw was dramatically inside. He did not try and run up, above the shoulders and throw at Donaldson's head. He didn't try to throw behind him. It was just a pitch that got away. And that's actually something that Garcia said in the post-game interview, that and a lot of pitchers around baseball have complained about, is that the balls are a little bit more slick this year and a little bit harder to grip, so there's certain pitches getting away from them. They don't have the control that they do, and that's also part of the reason why we've seen the run per game average through Major League Baseball, seemingly skyrocket here through the first month. As a matter of fact, today I want to say is the 1 month anniversary of the start of this 2022 season. The idea that Garcia got run so quick, and then later on, as a matter of fact, in an inning or two later, when the Yankees threw inside on Toronto manager Charlie Montoyo ended up getting tossed, along with pitching coach Pete Walker. Basically, at that point, arguing why the Yankee reliever Jonathan Loisiga, was allowed to stay in the game, yet their guy got run. And you would figure that Garcia should have been given the benefit of the doubt, because he was a reliever who came in, gave up a 3-run homer, which ended up tying the game, sending the Yankee faithful into a frenzy, and would have been trying to calm himself down. You don't want to put another guy on base, because after Donaldson, it's right in the meat part of the Yankee lineup, to where you've got a guy like a Judge or an Aaron Judge or a Giancarlo Stanton, coming to the plate very, very shortly thereafter. But well, Stanton was the one that hit the home run, so I apologize. But you kind of get the idea with the meat part of their lineup. The explanation that the umpire Marquez gave was that Donaldson and Toronto catcher, I'm forgetting his name at the moment, Heineman, they were jawing at each other through with an earlier plate appearance. Well, Donaldson and Heineman were not teammates when Donaldson was a member of the Blue Jays. So for the umpiring crew to immediately go to the hook rather than issue a warning, and then still didn't even issue the warning when the Toronto coaches ended up getting tossed in the eighth inning. There's a real underlying problem in baseball anymore, and you can also even say it's to the point of every sport. Now, we actually know in every sport that you can be given a warning. In the NBA, you get 2 technical fouls and you're tossed. They can do a flagrant one, or they can actually deem it was like the Draymond Green thing the other earlier this week, where they upgraded to a flagrant 2, where he kind of hit the guy in the face and grabbed his jersey and dragged him to the floor, but then showed compassion after the guy hit the floor and they tossed him out anyway for it, which was actually the right call. We know in the NHL, you don't have to get a minor penalty and then it's a major penalty. It's not like, we know in soccer, you can go straight to the red card if it was egregious enough. But we know things like this happen. We know very, very rarely in the NFL a player will actually get tossed out of the game. We know that's where the 5-yard, 10-yard infractions differ from the personal foul and unsportsmanlike penalties. But still, that was a huge issue, and I'm not sure if it's something that umpires are now trying to extort as much pressure as possible from Major League Baseball, knowing that changes are going to be coming. You've got your pitch clocks, that are going to be instituted before too long, where everyone's thinking robot umpires, and you're still going to, and what the umpires need to also realize is that, especially the home plate umpires, is that by going to a robot umpire for balls and strikes, there's still going to be a need for a home plate umpire to cover the plate on a close play. There's going to need to be judgment calls, whether foul tips got into the glove on a potential third strike. There's going to be catchers who are going to still need to appeal down. There's going to be conferences, where the home plate umpire is going to need to be involved. And honestly, a lot of the time, especially in the playoffs, if something is very close down the line and that home plate umpire may end up backing up that first or third base umpire down the line for a better vantage point, where they have a much further sight line of this and can get the broad spectrum as opposed to something being narrowed in. We all know that Angel Hernandez might be the worst official in any North American professional sports league, and yet he can't be fired for some reason, whether it's union, whatever it is. I'm not that well versed in how that goes, but he's absolutely atrocious. We've actually seen quick hooks earlier. We've actually seen umpires let games get out of hand by trying to police too much or not enough. But this was straight garbage. What occurred, and I'm not sure if it was the crew led by Marquez not ready for prime time in Yankee Stadium for this series, especially with the fact that both of these teams are going to probably end up contending for that AL East title by the time it's all said and done, or if it's just an underlining aspect that the umpiring in Major League Baseball is getting more and more atrocious every single year, to the point where they just they're almost kind of making it up as they go, because baseball is just it is in such chaos right now, especially kind of coming off of the lockout. This is not the way to bring fans, back into the or at least show them that, yeah, sure, we missed the first, we shortened the season by a couple of weeks. Come on back, you're still watching the greatest baseball players in the world. Well, not if they're being handcuffed and the umpiring crew is throwing guys out rather than warnings, as they should be doing. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Mike and I will be live discussing this and other aspects tonight on the Wise Guy Sports Show, going live at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. I'm sorry, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. There's no way in hell Mike and I are getting up 8:30 in the morning for a show. I know I will. I know he'll be up that early, but we're not going live that early. Sorry, I got too much damn shit to do this weekend. Otherwise, it's kind of leading up to my birthday. But again, let me know what you guys think. We will see you guys live tonight. This will be one of 2 Wise Guys shows we're doing this month, and we will actually let you know that towards the end of tonight's show when the second one's going to be, and that one's going to be a lot of fun. So we hope to see you guys live a little later on tonight, and if not, we'll see you guys back on the Sports Note very soon. Take care.